Love, Death, and Robots is returning after a long hiatus. Is this season worth binging? Let's talk about it. What is up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to my channel. We are here to talk Love, Death, and Robots Season 2. Go ahead and discuss your thoughts in that comment section. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. We're going to dive deep into what I thought worked and didn't necessarily work about this season. Let's do it. So Love, Death, and Robots is a collection of animated short stories that span various genres, including science fiction, fantasy, horror, and comedy. Like I said, Season 1 was wild. There were so many standout episodes that still resonate with me to this day. I didn't love every single episode, but with so many different options when it comes to stories, yeah, you're going to be hard-pressed to find someone that went like 18 for 18. Now, this time around, there's only 8 stories. 8 stories, 8 episodes. Each episode is only like 15 to 20 minutes long. So that automatically had me kind of hesitant because I'm like, why don't we get as much as Season 1? And I can see why that's kind of frustrating some people who are watching. But in a way, that's a good thing because we're just wanting more creativity from these directors, these producers, and Tim Miller, the creator. And I believe question number 1 is going to be, Austin, is this season worth binging? Are all 8 stories worth my time? I didn't quite love all 8 stories, but if you're asking me if it's worth a binge, I'm going to say absolutely. Now, I actually looked into the reason why Netflix took this from so many episodes to so little, and the reasoning was essentially they wanted to keep people's attention and they wanted to just kind of shorten it up. And to a degree, I understand that, but again, every episode's like 12 to 15 minutes, so I did find myself wanting more after it was over. I also wanted a bit more variety in terms of the specific genres that these stories cover. Now, I'll talk about the different stories here in just a second, but the majority of what we get here fits firmly into 1 or 2 genres as opposed to Season 1, where we got like probably 4 or 5 different genres all across the episodes. So that in itself was another thing that I just wanted a bit more variety from, as well as the animation. A lot of the animation this time around is kind of that 3D motion capture-ish style animation. And they do various forms, and we also get some 2D episodes as well. But for the most part, it all looks fairly similar. The art style in general of Love, Death, and Robots is something that stood out for me in Season 1. So variety is probably my biggest complaint when it comes to this season. But as for the stories, we have Pop Squad, Ice, The Tall Grass, all of these different wild, adventurous, sometimes comedic stories in which some of them worked for what they were going for, and others I was like, oh, okay. The first one I watched anyway, I'm not entirely sure if Netflix is still switching up the order like they did with Season 1, was Automated Customer Service. It's essentially my biggest fear, where someone starts up their home cleaning unit and it starts trying to murder them, and she's on the phone with customer service, and they're like, yeah, if he's trying to murder you, you better get out of there. So that was pretty funny. Then we have one called Ice, where 2 brothers are joining the locals in this deadly race, and you know, while this is the only one that implemented a vastly different style, we're getting 2D animation here, I wasn't entirely on board. I wasn't entirely swept away in the story, even though I like the concept in general. The next one was Pop Squad, where a police officer is charged with fighting overpopulation, and he's haunted by someone. This one was really intriguing. I thought the animation was beautiful. There are a handful of episodes here that are more than 13 minutes. I believe this one was 18 minutes, and it could have been that time that allowed us to grow with the characters a bit more. Snow in the Desert, where every bounty hunter in the galaxy needs snow. Yeah, I thought this one was really, really cool. And again, 18 minutes long. We have time to build with these characters. The landscapes here were absolutely gorgeous, and just the idea. This may actually be one of the better ideas, in my opinion. And actually, I'll be honest with you, 3 out of those 4 that I just talked about are my favorite 3, probably my favorite 3 episodes from the entire thing. So from there, we get episodes titled The Tall Grass, All Through the House, Life Hutch, and The Drowned Giant. And again, I talked about the lack of variety a bit earlier, but I will say there is some variety here, right? From A Christmas Story, where 2 kids go downstairs to catch a glimpse of Santa, to this huge body washing up on shore for the locals to try to figure out, okay, what is this? Where did it come from? We have aliens, we have all different sorts of things, but again, they're all fitting into one or two genres as opposed to all of these vastly different stories that we got in season 1. And the style and the look of the episodes are very close to each other as opposed to getting all different sorts and types of things. So I don't want to use the word disappointing at the end of the day. I will just say I wanted more from this season. That could just be how intriguing the idea of Love, Death, and Robots is, or just the fact that we were spoiled with so many episodes in season 1. Now, giving us less episodes, again, makes them want to bring us better episodes, and I believe we got some really good episodes here, but in my opinion, they just kind of went back and forth, but I didn't really hate any of the episodes. Some of them I was just like, okay, what's next? So at the end of the day, I still really appreciate Love, Death, and Robots. I love the talent behind it. Some of these stories were really, really engaging. And again, you're just getting treated to so many different kinds of animated short stories, and that is definitely a magical thing. So as for my score, I'm going to go with 65% for Volume 2 of Love, Death, and Robots. There is plenty there for you guys to binge, and it makes for a very, and I mean very, easy binge, so you can get through it in just a few hours. But again, I need to know, what did you guys think down below? If you enjoyed this review and you'd like to support this channel, be sure to drop your thumbs up and come back, because we're talking so many different things today. Army of the Dead, Underground Railroad. Yesterday, we talked Spiral, Those Who Wish Me Dead. Lots of stuff. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.